Greetings and welcome to the Family is Hard podcast, the podcast where we discuss the humorous side of parenting and family life. Do keep in mind that we use colorful language and colorful topics for our stories sometimes, so you might want to shoo the kids away because this may not be safe for them. And before we get, there you go. Before we get going, make sure you follow us on Twitter at Family is Hard, and we also are on Facebook at facebook.com/group/family is hard. You can join us there on both avenues and tell us stories of your own and use the hashtag family is hard. And I am joined, as always, by my better half, Miss Monica. Hello, Monica.
Guten Tag.
And the very strong cursing you heard was from our eldest son, Ike. Hello, Ike.
Howdy.
So that's what we said. You know, that's right out of the gates. We talked about it's not safe for kids, and we have to make sure we emphasize that point. But
and Ike will be putting $1 in the swear jar.
Yeah, I don't think I get to do that anymore.
I was gonna say I'm 25 years old. Do I still have to use swear word?
Yes.
I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure that was ever a thing that really caught footing in our family because I was damn tired of putting money in it. So I think we had to stop it. So
at some point, you're just like, it's fine.
Yeah. So again, just to give a little background, we have 5 sons. We're a blended family, so there's 5 sons between us. We don't differentiate whose is whose, so we're not going to do that and whatever else. We have 5 sons, and we have a whole slew of stories with all 5 of them, and in different combinations of them, and so on and so forth. And they're funny, they're wacky, they're weird because that's what we are as a family. We're funny and wacky and weird.
Absolutely.
But when we talk about Ike and when we think about Ike and when we sit around and we reminisce, one of the top stories we always think about is an infamous haircut situation that we had. And this is a little story that we always call the Helga haircut. And you will see as we discuss this what that means. So, as always, I'm not the detail man. I give the colorful insight. I'm the color commentator. So Monica, why don't you help set the stage and get us going on down the path of the Helga haircut?
Well, like you mentioned, we had 5 children, and haircuts for us, we were going to, when we would all 7 go get a haircut, we were dropping like $200. So we planned them, and Isaac came to me and said, hey, I want a haircut. And this was kind of at that stage where the kids all wanted, we never really fought on haircuts with the kids. We figured, that's not the hill we wanted to die on. So if they didn't...
all 5 kids have had long hair of varying degrees. And, hey, for the record...
colors of hair.
Yes, and for the record, though, it was never a hill I could die on because I had super long hair in high school. So, who was I to ever preach about the length of hair? So, But as we've established in the past, I was a hippie in high school. And you and your preppy eyes would have never looked twice at me, but we won't go there again.
Oh, okay, going there again. All right. Well, so anyway, at this point, his hair was pretty long. It was pretty shaggy, and we only had one rule, and that rule was that it had to be clean. And if it was long, that was fine, but it had to be clean. And we really didn't have any kids that had a problem with that. So Isaac came to me and was like, "Can I get a haircut?" And I think I told him, "Hey, listen. We'll do it. Dad gets paid on Friday, so we'll do it on Friday." And patience is not a virtue that the kids really have. It's weird because Dave is very impulsive. I tend to be less impulsive, and the children either are like Dave or like me. And Isaac is he's the only one that is a little of both. Bryce is super impulsive. Xander is a planner. Jacob is a planner. And then our youngest, Noah, he's impulsive. But Isaac kind of is right in the middle. So I told him that. And then I can't even remember why. Do you remember why it was so important you wanted a haircut right now?
I don't even remember why it was so important. I do remember, I was actually thinking about this because we were chatting just a little bit before. I was trying to establish like when this happened, and I'm 90% sure it was like 8th or ninth grade because
Oh no, you were in high school because you were at your high school. You had already
Well,
transferred to CSA.
was it CS? Because I couldn't remember because I thought it was it? No, mate,
Because
I thought because the Helga came from because there's another one I remembered because there was another time that what was that? Oh my god, I can't even remember when that happened.
it was definitely CSA because I remember the friends involved. Elliot was one of them.
Was it Elliot?
Yeah, so that would
may
have had to have been CSA.
I was trying to think if it was Elliot or if it was Gage. Because I remember Gage was the other antagonizer from my childhood.
Yeah, it was definitely Elliot because he would joke about it and ask me if I'd give him the Helga. Wow, that
makes sense.
Way more sexual than it needed.
Yikes.
So anyway,
Some Mrs. Robinson shit there.
Yeah, I know, right? I want to say it was 10th grade.
It was, I think. Or no, it was junior year because I remembered. Was it junior? Shit, I don't even remember.
No, this is horrible.
I don't think it was that old, was it?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't junior. It had to have been 10th grade.
We still lived at the house in Taylorsville.
I think we're spending a long time on this, and I don't know if it's that.
Really are.
It's around 10th grade.
It was. I'm pretty sure it was 10th grade. So for whatever reason,
and I think the haircut was just I'm kind of tired of the long hair. It's kind of annoying. Right. It kind of takes a little too long to deal with. I think I'm just ready to be done with it. I think that's kind of. I don't think there was any huge motives of just. I just need a change.
I think that was.
So Isaac's like, well, can you cut it for me? Now, we're not going to talk about the first time I cut Isaac's hair when he was younger, because that's a story for another day.
Yes. Let's just, here we go. Let's just say
it wasn't a pleasant experience.
No, it wasn't.
And it's highly surprising that Ike would approach her for another haircut after that.
Right.
We will tell that story again at the future.
Yes.
And remarkably, it was a great story, but the Helga's even funnier. That's why we started with the Helga. But
right. So I'm like, all right. So one of the kids said, well, watch a YouTube video. So I get out and I look and I'm like, okay, because you were very specific. You're like, I still want it kind of long, but I want it off my collar mostly. And so I get the scissors out and I start cutting like the video said. And I get done and Isaac goes and looks at it and he comes back and he's like, and I could tell he was a little hesitant, but it's important that like of the 5 kids, like Isaac and Bryce are like, I don't want to hurt mom's feelings. Noah and Jacob are like just straight shooters with me. And then Xander is like, please don't hate me if I say this to you. So, we've got the gamut. So I can kind of tell that I don't think he really liked it.
Well, let me state this. There are times in every man's life when you look back and you think, damn, I really messed up. I should have never done that. I should have never requested that. I should have never went down that path. Ike stating to you, asking you, will you cut my hair, will be forever one of those moments in his life.
Yeah. 100%.
So, I'm like, okay, he seems okay with it. And I told him, I said, if you don't like it, we can still get your haircut on Friday. So now I'm going to turn the story over to Ike because, it was a school night. And so school was the next day. And so what happened?
Oh, man. So, I have very few things in my life that I can genuinely say that, like, I can still think back to. And it makes me want to hang myself. But this was one of the few. I remember I went to school, and I didn't really think anything of it. And I have a really good friend. And I would still say that I have a really good friend. But I now remember why I didn't like him at first was because he made fun of my hair. I went to school, and he pulled up a picture, and he says, "You look like a Russian schoolgirl." To which my response was, "Who the fuck are you? And why are you talking to me?" So yeah, that was one of my least favorite experiences on a new day of school, especially at a brand new school. Yeah, that was something,
Well,
man. That was
and of course, when you convey the story, of course, we had to name the Russian schoolgirl, so we had
yep.
to
Yeah.
we had to call you Helga. So
That's
that's where
right.
Helga comes in because I don't know. Apparently, that's the first Russian schoolgirl name we can think of.
Right.
That's the most Russian name we could come up with.
I can think of a lot of guys Russian names, but I don't know a lot of women Russian.
That's what I was gonna
And
say.
and for those of you listening, you could honestly Google Russian schoolgirl, and it looking back, it was horrible. It was like chin length, weird bob. I don't know why I thought that that's how you would cut the hair of a boy.
Well, okay, yeah. Well, you want to know here? You want to know what when I first saw the haircut? I thought, man, he looks like a dark-haired Prince Adam. Because, of course, all my references come from '80s cartoons and toy lines, so it was from Masters of the Universe, and I thought, well, he looks like Prince Adam. He's got bangs, and I'm sitting there thinking, well, I don't know, guys shouldn't have bangs, but I don't know maybe that's a thing now. I don't know. You didn't seem at first to be that confused by it or throwing a bunch of fun. I guess if he's okay with it, I don't really care, but.
Yeah. So he comes home, and I can you know your kids. And Ike had this mixture of looking like he wanted to cry and want me to hug him, but I also kind of thought maybe he wanted to kill me. So I go in his room and I'm like, "What's wrong?" And he's really upset. And he's like, "Mom, you know, everyone was making fun of me and my haircut looks like a girl." And I'm like, "Okay, well, sweetie, I mean, I can try to fix it." And he's like, "No." And
Never
I'm like,
again.
"Yeah, I know." And he's like, "Can we just go cut my hair?" And I'm like, "Sweetie, we can Friday." And I left the room, and next thing I know, Isaac's looking for the clippers, and I think you had Jacob just literally just shave your head.
I literally told Jacob, I said, cut that bitch off, just cut it off, all of it. And he shaved me. I mean, it wasn't quite a skinhead level, but like it was
pretty short.
It was pretty short. It was like military cut. It was.
And bless your heart. I mean, you've got my head, and Ike's head. Let's just put it this way: when I signed him up for T-ball in kindergarten, they had to special order an adult-sized hat for his head because his head was gigantic. So shaved, it was like this cross between serial killer and Uncle Fester from the Addams Family.
But it was anything was better at that point than the Helga. I would have literally taken being scalped.
So, well, I have to know
Compared to
though.
that.
When you went to school the next day with the shaved head, what did everybody say?
I remembered another friend of mine, another person who was always very friendly with me.
I feel like you have to use air quotes when you say friends, given the circumstances you're talking about.
This one was actually this person was nice. Her name was Amber. I remember she was like, so I see you cut your hair. I said, and basically my only response was, having the Helga was very detrimental to my mental well-being. So
I don't know. It's like when I think of these stories, I think you and I have a really good relationship now, and sometimes I wonder why.
Well, you're like, by all accounts, you should probably hate me.
It might be because that was the last time you tried to cut his hair.
Yeah.
I think that it's a double thing. Number one, I think he realizes he asked.
Yeah.
And number two, I think that I'd never do anything intentionally to hurt you.
Right, and that was kind of the thing too. Is that like I kind of went into it asking for the haircut. So like I don't think. I mean, what's the old saying? People in glass houses shouldn't throw rocks. It was kind of one of those like, I probably shouldn't hate her because I asked her to do it. It is not my fault that she was never meant to be a hairdresser.
Absolutely not. Oh my gosh.
Oh.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't know. I think the moral of the story is don't ever ask or offer to cut someone's hair if you're not trained. And there are just some things that, you just can't learn from a YouTube video.
Yeah, and
Yes.
this was one of them. You know how many times I've been watching late night TV and I see the Flowbee commercials?
Oh, God.
In that, I don't know, Isaac, or if you ever seen one of those?
I don't think so. You said what is it?
It's called a Flowbee, and basically what it is, it's a vacuum cleaner that you put on your head, and it sucks your hair up and it cuts it.
Oh, what the hell?
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
like,
I
'cause,
know. It was huge in like the 80s.
Yeah, you know when they cut your hair, they pull your hair out, they clip it, right? I guess the theory was the vacuum part would pull the hair out, then there was something in there that would cut it. I don't know. I don't know.
Sounds like a fucking disaster waiting to happen.
Well,
Really, could it have been worse than the Helga?
I mean, I think there's a reason that you don't see Flowbees on every shelf in the Walmarts anymore. They didn't exactly. Do you remember they also had Flowbees for pets?
They did. Oh my gosh, poor Kirby would kill me.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm not sure how. I mean, like my hair is pretty thick and everything else. I just can't imagine how that's going to work. I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know. Now I have the urge to get on QVC and get a Flowbee.
Yeah, I don't know if you get those at QVC anymore. I think you may have to go to eBay.
I was gonna say,
Are you needing a haircut the next time we see each other, Isaac?
not a chance. Not a cold chance in hell will I ever let you approach me with a pair of scissors.
Were there any other children that you ever attempted a haircut on, or was it just Ike?
Gosh,
It was just me because I remembered
Twice.
Because I remembered Xander. He was always very particular about his hair, which was fine.
Okay.
So he was always very particular. Bryce wasn't super particular, but I think that he preferred that.
I do think I've shaved a couple kids' heads at their request.
But shaving and styling is a
even
little
mess
bit different. Right.
Now that begs.
So
I mean,
I do two hairstyles, and that is Helga and Serial Killer.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess of the 5 kids, is Xander the only one that's not really had the head shaved down?
Yeah, I think so.
I think the other 4 at some point or another has all had it pretty dang short. Not Xander.
Yeah, I've definitely shaved. I don't think I've shaved Isaac's head.
Well, maybe not, but he's had it shaved. I mean, he's
Yeah. Yes, I've had my hair shaved, and you cut my hair, and I think Jacob was one that actually like shaved my head, so I was just like, cut it off.
Yeah, and he did it with glee.
Yes, he did. He was very happy about
He was
that.
super excited about that. I've shaved his head. I've shaved Noah's, and I've shaved Bryce's. So Xander, is the only one who has not let me near his head.
And you've
I
shaved
know
mine.
Yeah, I think we know. Yes, but that's another story.
Yeah. We'll talk about that, but all right. So that's the thing. A lot of people around us heard us mention the Helga and didn't know what the hell we were talking about. So there you are. If you're one of those people that have been around our family and wondered what Helga had to do with anything, there you go. It was in reference to a botched haircut. And sometime in high school, we've not established a direct timeline in this trial, but that's just the way it goes. That's the way it goes. Yeah. So anyway, we're going to wrap this up. So Ike, thanks for coming on and revisiting a very traumatic moment of your life that hopefully,
Of course.
hopefully you've moved past. I don't know if there's any therapists that specialize in bad haircuts. But,
I was like hair-related traumas.
yeah, but anyway, thanks for coming on and revisiting and Monica. I mean, I noticed Monica's been just laughing nonstop about it. I think she finds a lot of humor in it.
I feel like I should again publicly apologize to you for all of the hair trauma I caused.
I think I'll be all right. We'll see.
Yeah, just wait for the future when we talk about the other story, because to me the other story was
not my shining moment. As
not
mother.
at all. So let this be a warning, or not a warning, but let this be a lesson to everybody listening. Every single one of us as parents, or as brothers, or as sisters, or as children, or whatever it might be, has times where you think, shit, I'm a horrible person. What the fuck did I just do? We all have those
One of
moments,
mine.
and it's okay. It's okay. It can all work out. The key, as Rocky says, it's not how many times you get hit. It's not how many times you get knocked down, but it's how many times you get back up. So, as long as we learn, and
That's right.
and that's one thing you'll learn from me. I'll take any opportunity I can to quote Rocky Balboa. So, all right. So we're going to wrap it up again. This is the Family is Hard podcast. Follow us on Twitter at Family is Hard, and look at our Facebook group. Look up Family is Hard. You'll find us there, and join us in our storytelling using the hashtag Family is Hard. We all have wacky family stories, and we'd like to hear yours. So make sure you do that. So I have to ask you though, Ike, before we go, this is your first time on the show. We have a running little thing going now because the first child guest we had on was Bryce. Okay.
Right.
And when I did my introduction, the moment I was done with my introduction, and I asked Bryce to say hi, he was laughing because he said, have you ever really thought about the title of the podcast and what it might mean to people that hear it? When you hear the phrase family is hard, what does that mean to you?
I mean,
You're laughing too!
Okay, look, I see where Bryce is coming from, but I understand what you're going for. You know, being family is hard.
Bryce heard the term hard and immediately thought erection.
Yes.
I hear the phrase hard in this context, and it means difficult. And it's proper English. It's grammatically correct. It's not family is erection. That doesn't even make sense. And Bryce argued that, hey, maybe it's a generational thing. And I said, no, it's a Bryce thing. And he said, no, all my siblings will think the same thing. That's my Bryce impersonation. All my siblings will think the same thing, man. And I'm like, oh, Lord. Okay, so, but let me ask you, when you first heard it, did you think that as well, though? Did that immediately pop into your mind?
Okay, so I don't want to say that it immediately popped into my mind, but it did occur to me what someone could think about it.
All right, so
we're 2 for 2.
That of the 5 children, we've had 2 on, and that's both of them. Oh boy, that's okay. So
I'm
again,
so proud.
let me issue my disclaimer that yes, we are using the hashtag Family is Hard, and apparently, if you see something that's unsavory out there using the hashtag, it is not related to our show.
No.
So
Unless it says Bryce.
Yeah.
I guess it's a good thing he's not on social media more because he would hijack that hashtag and Hard knows what he would use it for. So, oh well. So that wraps up this episode. So Ike, let's just stop there. Ike, say goodbye to everybody.
Adios, muchachos.
And Monica, say bye to everybody.
Auf Wiedersehen.
And just let this be. And if Monica ever offers give you a haircut, just say no.
You say
just
no.
say no. So
No. Eat.
until next time, this is Family is Hard, and we'll see you next episode.